Hello, friends. I welcome you all. Today, I'm going to share one of the very good case study based on DMAIC methodology. Uh, Friends, this is the company, one of the big company, nail paints and beauty products, basically. So they had the issue of the productivity at the labeling machine. So for that, they started working on DMAIC approach and how they could able to solve it. I'm going to discuss this today. As you know, there are five steps of DMAIC methodology of Six Sigma: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. We'll start with the define stage, right? So, what are the operational definition and key terms? We are having SA is equal to sub-assembly, finished goods, BW, B oblique W between, and machine, right? So these are the terms which are used in this case study. What is the problem? In labeling machine, they were making the sub-assembly of shampoo, conditioner, jars, skin toners, right? So various labels they were printing on the labeling machine. But the true color and mark gel 8 ml nail point, which they were converting to WIP to FG, and they had for this is the sequence of the process. So like they were pasting the back label and then check labels and capping and then pressing and chip packing and final packing. So this is like labeling machine. There is this transfer conveyor, check labels, capping, pressing was done into the transferring the conveyor. And then they had final finished goods packing table, right? To complete this activity, they had 12 manpowers. And the whole operation was facing to transfer the nail paint bottle from labeling to the another conveyor. So basically, they were facing the productivity issue, and because of that, they had to put additional manpower for transferring the nail paint bottles from labeling to the another conveyor. Okay. So what was the goal or objective? To smooth down the operations between labeling machine and conveyor, and to optimize, of course, the manpower who are actually into the job of transferring the bottles from labeling machine to conveyors. And the final objective is to, of course, to increase the productivity, improve the productivity, and along with that quality, and along with that improving of the cost. So let us understand how they did it. So why they selected this particular project? It is very, very important. You need to identify, you need to prove yourself that why you are choosing certain project. So they did certain 80-20 analysis, and in the 80-20 analysis, they could able to identify that this particular nail enamel, they are having 5,24,390 units every month, every year, right? So they are producing this much of the SKU every year, and they are consuming highest one. So that is why they have started working on this particular SKU, and they've decided to improve this one. Now, what was the scope? The scope, in scope and item of the out scope, which is very important when you define your project. So true color and mark gel 8 ml nail enamel. An item out of the scope was essay of shampoo bottles, conditioner bottles, all other stock keeping units. They are not considering the for this particular project, and they are just focusing on the 8 ml nail enamel project. So whatever we are going to discuss in this case study, we'll be focusing on 8 ml nail enamel. Okay. Now look at this, the process map. If you see, there are A, B, these are the people, A, B, C, D, these are the 12 people they've defined in this particular line. So A and B, C and D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, right? So these are the people, 5 year, 9 year, and 3 year, 12 people. And this is the labeling machine. This is the transport conveyor. So how exactly they are having the process? What exactly they are doing? Like this is one, this is second, this one is third, and this is the fourth, right? When the bottle comes here, all the bottles are coming here, they had the issue of transferring this bottle from this particular conveyor to this conveyor. And what was the job of this particular people, these two people? They were actually picking up this bottle and transferring it into the conveyor. Mind you, they are operating this line since long, and they were aware that we are having certain problems, right? But they could not able to judge where exactly we can work upon it and we can reduce the manpower. So this is was the scenario with this company. When they went through the training program, they identified the area of improvements, because many times it happens that we are working in our company, but we are not able to identify where exactly problem is lying. And when we go this kind of brainstorming or understanding of the muda and this kind of exercise, we just click it where exactly problem are and how we can attack it. So same was the case with this company. So if you see here, the red one, this particular part was the bottleneck operation, and because of that, they had two people, additional people who were working on this non-valuing activity. Their job was to transfer this enable bottle from this conveyor to the next conveyor, right? So now, what was the voice of the customer? Like, if you are looking at the process, it is not required that your voice of customer is for the external customer only. Your voice of the customer from the internal customer as well. So here, the customer capper and next all process owner, and voice of the customer was bottle received in unmannered way and waiting of the bottles for the caping. So here you are having loss of the productivity because of the waiting, and the systematic arrangement of the systematic coming of the bottle was not happening. And the key issue they have identified was stucking in labeling machine and resulting manual transfer of the bottles. So this is again the key issue they have identified. If you ask right question, if you frame right question, then Google will able to give you the answer. I always tell in my training this, right? So this is like, is this a CTQ? No, it is not CTQ, critical to quality, but definitely it is hampering onto the productivity. So you need to identify whether it is mm, impacting on your critical to quality. It was not the critical to quality, but definitely impacting on the productivity. So project justification. So relevant metrics. What are the relevant metrics they have taken? Hejunka. Hejunka is the word for the labeling, and it is part of the process improvement to help organization match unpredictable customer demand patterns and eliminate manufacturing waste. So actually, you are, as per the customer demand, you are leveling your production. And what are the improvement target? To smooth down the operation of nail enamel HTML from WIP to finished goods. Okay, and then operation strategic impact. What was the impact? Increased productivity, optimize manpower, and smoothing the flow from the WIP to finished goods. So this was the project justification. Then these are the members, who is the champion, team leader, core team members, and ad hoc members. So I'm skipping this. And this is again very important part. They have designed the project plan. It is very important when you are actually working on project. If you don't know where you want to reach and in how much time you would like to reach, you will not able to pick the right kind of tool. So for that, you have to define all the process, entire project into the various activities. So here we are having activities, selection of the line, team formation, understanding the present losses. So all the activities are defined here. Again, responsibility, who is going to take care of these activities, and then target versus actual. So what is your target and what is the actual? This is called Gantt chart. So they have put all their activities into the Gantt chart and define the target line also. Um, and they actually divided the project in across the months, because it is like identifying the project to the implementation. So everything they have actually done into this, and then goes the measure phase. So after defining the project, they are coming to the measure phase. If you see the measure phase, you are having process flow diagram. You can just have a look at the pictures. The bottle feeder, bottle feeder, the filled water would go to the label pasting, and you are pasting label there, and then it goes to the joint between label machine and conveyor, and then it will go to the capping machine, and from there it will go to the cap pressing. From there it will go to the chip packing, and from there it will go to the final inspection, and then you are actually packing it into the corrugated boxes, right? So this is the schematic diagram of the process flow. You are starting the process, bottle feeder, two manpower manual operation, pasting labels, auto operation, manual transfer of the bottles, one manpower manual operations, and then you are having pasting the label as per the specification. You are having, it is of course a manual operation, then capper, manual operation, auto cap pressing, it is the, again it is auto operation, and is kept properly, just inspecting it, and then chip packing, again it is like manual operations, two manpower are available there, and then you are checking it, and then you are actually team is dispatching it into the like it packing it into the corrugated boxes. So but if you see here, the bottleneck operation was the manual transfer of the bottle, and this is the project that which they have taken. And then goes like, if you see here, high level process map. So you are having SIPOC, basically supplier, input, process, output, and customer. So who is your supplier? They've defined all the suppliers, nail WIP bottles. It would go into the WIP nail paint bottles. And what is the process they're happening? Put bottles on the labeling machine for pasting labels, bottle labeled and label checker. Likewise, they have created the SIPOC for the entire process. Right? If you see, this is the video which will show you what exactly is happening. What is the bottleneck operation? So here, from this machine, it is coming to this particular area, and it is getting stuck. So two people are standing over here and passing these bottles to the next conveyor, and this particular part area was becoming the bottleneck activity. So what they did is like, the goal was to optimize the manpower, increase the productivity, and then they straight away they went to the analysis, right? So what they have taken into the analysis, so the best tool for the analysis is the fishbone diagram and YY analysis. So this, they have drawn the fishbone diagram with 6M, and they've identified, if you see here, they have marked various, the critical findings, causes, which are actually impacting onto the productivity. So bottles stucking at the end of the labeling machine. This is the prominent cause which was hampering the productivity. So they've identified it. And then they did the YY analysis, 5W, first W, second W, third W. So this way they could able to do the 5Y analysis, and they could able to reach to the root cause because of the improper bottle flow between the two machines. And they've decided, like, action plan was bridging the bridging arrangement to be provided, right? And this is what this came from the brainstorming within the team, and they set the target that we will have bridging gap within the 15 days, right? And this they have documented in proper manner. So this is how they have documented man, machine, material, method, and they have identified the critical cause which is impacting the productivity. So this is what they've designed, and then they did YY analysis. We have already seen this. So they put the YY analysis in proper way, and then with action plan and target that the team has decided that they will be working on this particular solution. After doing this, after having the action plan, how to do this, that was the the very important point for any Six Sigma or continuous improvement project. You have defined the action plan, but how to execute? And as such, there is no methodology about the execution. You are having number of tools and number of techniques available in the business excellence model, or let's say operational excellence model, or for that matter lean or Six Sigma. A number of tools are available, but which tools you need to apply, and for that you should have understanding of the tool, and that would that should be blended with your visit onto the gemba. Gemba is the place where exactly actually things are happening. So they did kind of brainstorming, they did the idea they collected the ideas, analyze those ideas with respect to their pros and cons, and then they have selected certain idea and rejected certain ideas. So if you see here, fix the split and cut the side of the transfer conveyor, right? So these are the idea got rejected because of their specific pros and cons. I'm not going into the detail of these pros and cons, but this is the idea they have actually packed up from the brainstorming. What was the idea? Provide the SS plate bridge with little slope and supporting guide. So what was the pros? Nail bottle will easily transfer from the label machine to the transfer conveyor smoothly, and no need to take changeover for another sub-assembly, right? So this is what exactly they have picked up. And according to, after the approval of every team member, they've started working on it. So now it is coming to the improve phase. If you see here, into the improve phase, if you in earlier video, you might have seen that there are certain, this is the area where it was like, the bottleneck area, and all the nail paints, all the bottles were stucking somewhere here. So what they did is they made a SS transfer bridge and guide to optimize the manpower and smoothing the process, optimizing the process. So instead of, having two manpower to transfer these bottles from this place to this place, and they actually provided this bridge, SS bridge, and now the bottles are coming over here, and they can transfer this bottle from this to this particular guide. Looking to the solution, it looks very easy, but they were working in this particular way since last so many years, and by understanding the fundamentals of Muda and various approaches, they picked up this project and they could able to save manpower within no time. Just putting this Kaizen, just putting this particular plate as a Kaizen small improvement, they could able to improve the productivity and reduce the waiting time, of course. So look at this, how they were able to do it. So now these bottles are getting transferred through this SS bridge and going to the second bag. And now capping process is happening there. And those two manpower which they were using here, they have utilized those manpower somewhere else. So this is how they could able to achieve the productivity and reduce the time. So what is the process now? Instead of that bottleneck operations, now they are manual operations they've removed and revised the entire process flow. So this is the revised process flow, right? It is very, very important that after the improvement, you're supposed to document what exactly your improvement is. And then to make sure that they are working on the failure mode effect analysis, they created a FMEA diagram, FMEA sheet for the rest of the process, so that they can reduce the RPN number by reducing the occurrence and detection, right? So this is how, what was the RPN number for feeder testing levels. So from here they could able to get certain more projects. I'm not going into the detail of it. And then there was one point lesion. So what exactly you need to do with respect to the nail paint? So they've identified some more opportunities or improving the quality. They identified some of the one point lesion that help them to stabilize or standardize their process further. So this is the example of one point lesion. And then we are going to the control phase. Of course, in control phase, you must see like what is the time you could able to save, and you have to put certain control charts. But we are not going into the detail of the control charts, but they have identified the trailing calendars and whom to, which are the training topics with respect to this particular operation, and how they will train people, and who is the responsible for training. So they have created this calendar, and now they are following these, they followed this calendar in that particular project. Why I'm explaining it to you? After the implementation, if you will not train your people, they will not able to accept the change, and there are all chances that they will go back to their earlier process, and that will not help you to the improve your process, or they will sustain the improvement in your process. So this is very, very important. And what is this saving? This is very, very important. After every project, you need to document it as far as your productivity improvement or quality improvement, delivery time reduction, cost reduction. And then, because management is always interested into the bottom line, and the bottom line is always need to be quantified. So if you see here, there is, in the starting of the this case study, we discussed about the units in a year. So they were producing 5,24,390 units, and that was into the batches of 164. And standard minute to pack one batch was 90, and total packing time was 14,748 minutes. Right? So standard minutes in a day 460 minutes. Total man day of the pack 32, and cost of two manpower in a day 888 rupees. So they could able to save two manpower, right? So 88 into 2 and into the 365 days. So basically the cost of the saving is 28,471. More importantly, they could able to reduce the waiting time, and they could able to utilize the these two people at some other space, other place, and improve the Kaizen culture, right? So this is how you can actually focus on to the project. And with this, I would like to conclude here. Next time, I will come up with another topic, another project, and another case study. And if you like this case study, please subscribe this channel. Please share this case study to your friends and colleague, and so that everyone could able to get benefit out of it. And thank you so much for watching this. See you soon. Goodbye.